Good evening. I'm Chanel, Vehicle Title Expert. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I thank you in advance for subscribing. So, on last week, I did a segment asking you, are your temp tags legal? On tonight, I will talk more about temp tags, but in this case, I will talk about dealers issuing you temp tags, and I will cover four things you should keep in mind when you are getting temp tags from your dealership. Okay, so the first thing you want to think about or know is that dealers only provide temp tags to their customers. And that's, if you just bought that vehicle from them and they don't have any hard plates in stock. A lot of times, we get calls from customers who have bought vehicles from a private party, and they'll ask us if we issue temp tags, which, we do not. And then I talk about the dealerships, in this state of Virginia, and who issues temp tags and, things of this nature. But you have to be that buying customer. You gotta, be that customer who just bought that vehicle and there's no hard plates in stock, which is why they would give you, temp tags. So I wanted to share this one in particular because you cannot just, go to a dealer and ask for temp tags. I mean, I do have those, calls that come in, and sometimes the customers do believe that they can just get temp tags from a dealer, just because they need temp tags. It doesn't work that way. So you got to be that buying customer, and they cannot have any hard plates in stock. That's the purpose of the temp tag, to give you the temp tag, while that hard plate or the overall transaction is being worked on. Okay. The second thing you want to keep in mind is the length of the temp tag that you have is determined by the state over that dealership. So the time on your temp tag is not random. It's not just a number the dealership is giving you. It is issued by that state or governed by that state. Every state that issues temp tags, they have a certain time frame in mind that they want the title work to be done. And the time with the title work also coincides with the time frame of that temp tag at hand as well. Okay, so as an example, in the state of Virginia, temp tag issuances are for 30 days. So that's the max time that the dealerships will give you in this state. Okay. There are no exceptions regarding the time frame, but the good news is, sometimes you can be eligible for an extension, which takes me to this next point here. You can be eligible for a temp tag extension sometimes, but sometimes you can't. And a lot of times you will only be eligible if the dealer board or DMV grants that dealership the permission to give an extension. And it has to be paperwork related. Okay, maybe there's a problem with the title work the dealership is processing for you. Maybe a document or two, is missing. Maybe something needs to be corrected, and I can go on and on. So, in order for you to get that extension, number one, that state has to authorize it, DMV or the dealer board, and it's a case by case basis, and it normally has to be paperwork specific. For you customers out there that have stops on your record, having a stop on your record, unpaid personal property tax, unpaid tolls, SR22 issues, and I can go on and on. The stops that you have on your record would not give you a green light to get your temp tag extended if you find out that you need that. So DMV will not honor the fact that you have a stop in your record and give you a temp tag extension. So keep that in mind. The next thing, and the last point actually, is going to be the fact that if you are purchasing your vehicle from out of state, and I have this highlighted in yellow, sometimes out of state purchases, when it comes to temp tags, can be very tricky because they're time sensitive. So let me explain. If you are buying your vehicle from out of state, okay, the time frame on that temp tag may not be the same as your residing state or the state that you're going to get your vehicle, titled and registered in. So again, it's a very, time sensitive matter. You are racing against the clock when you are buying your vehicle from out of state. Okay. This does not mean that you shouldn't buy a vehicle from out of state, but it's a case of urgency. You should be mindful of your title process. If you find out that, the title process is moving along a little too slowly, you may want to reach out to your dealership, because if you have a temp tag from out of state and it's running out, keep in mind your state that you're residing in and law enforcement, they may not be as gracious, okay, because every state is different and every state is not mindful of the next state's title and registration and temp tag policies. So looking at this last point here, if you're making an out-of-state purchase, be very mindful when it comes to, getting your vehicle titled. Stay in touch with that dealership. If you see you got a few days left, ask the dealership what's going on. You can also, see if they can give you that extension if it is paperwork related. If they're having an issue with your title work, and you see you're running out, ask them, can they do that for you? Because, it's not your fault. Okay, so be proactive. Don't drive around with expired temp tags, or you're running out of time. Reach out to that dealership, because again, because you're in one state, that dealership's temp tag time frame may not match up with the state that you have, and that could put you in jeopardy in terms of, having an invalid registration. If you have any questions or need further guidance pertaining to the issuance of temp tags from dealerships, feel free to drop me a line below or visit me at wisdomandauthority.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please check me out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Please click share and subscribe. I hope to hear from you soon.